Hello. Today we're doing an Alex Garland tier list. This is one of my favorite writer-directors. Just had the new movie 28 Years, The Bone Temple come out this weekend. So I'm like, now's the perfect time to talk about it. So this includes all the movies he's at least written for. He has written and directed several movies as well. All of them are at least good, and most of them are great. He does not miss, and a lot of great genre stuff. A lot of really excellent sci-fi stuff, and just a lot of good movies overall. So let's go over the rankings here. We got, so of course we haven't seen. There's a few movies he's done that I haven't seen. Let's actually get those out of the way while we're here. The Beach, The Tesseract, and Never Let Me Go. Haven't seen these. The Beach, I've heard of. He wrote the novel for that, and then it's Danny Boyle directed. So that was Danny Boyle and Alex Garland's first collaboration, and they went on to collaborate many more times. So that's interesting. I definitely would like to see these. Let me know in the comments if I should watch them. Anyways, tiers after that are may have gone too far in a few places. This is a category for movies that like don't quite work for me, but I think they're still very strong. Like, I don't think any of these movies are bad. Then after that we have bangers, just like solid, real good time movies, and of course absolute cinema at the top. We're gonna go in chronological release order, starting with,
We thought we might start a chain reaction that would destroy the entire world. I believe we did. I am become death.
28 Days Later. I just rewatched this the other day after seeing The Bone Temple, because I was having a hankering for it. And yeah, it's a banger. It's a real great movie. Danny Boyle directing, so it's got a real weird, interesting flavor to it. They shot this all on like digital camcorders, so some of it looks kind of like shit, but also they did a lot of interesting and smart things for budget reasons, where they like shoot in London, where Big Ben is, where the clock tower is, just at like 4 in the morning, so there's no one around, and just throw some garbage on the floor, so the whole city looks completely abandoned. Gives the whole movie this like this strange uncanny vibe. And it's just a really solid zombie flick. Another thing with Alex Garland movies is they often have like incredible casts too. So we got our boy Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy, Naomi Harris is in there, Brendan Gleeson is always great to see. Fucking Doctor Who's there too as a crazy evil military guy. Another interesting theme that comes up a lot is like military or soldiers, when left to their own devices, are like quickly become corrupt, and mostly just because they have guns, which gives them power in a world of chaos. That's a theme that comes up a bunch. So like there's lots of interesting little like sub themes that come out throughout a bunch of his work. Anyways, great movie, banger. Next up, Sunshine. Another excellent movie, another Danny Boyle collab. And I don't know if I want to put this in absolute cinema or in bangers. It's also very good. I think we're gonna stick it in bangers. I think it's great, but there's just like some things that don't fully work for me. Like, I think towards the end of the movie, when Danny Boyle gets like really experimental with the filmmaking and like the shots and stuff, it becomes a little bit disorienting, which is part of the point, but it's also like, what the fuck am I looking at? I can't like, what am I supposed to glean from what's happening right now? Oh, also forgot to mention John Murphy, who did the score for both of these movies. Great score. The 28 Days Later one is interesting because it's one that you hear, same with the Sunshine score, but both of them are ones that you hear in like a bunch of other movies all the time, but originated for these ones. And strangely, I think sometimes, at least for 28 Days Later, I feel like that main theme has been sometimes used better in other movies. Particularly, we'll get to when it creeps in in the Bone Temple, incredible, absolutely incredible, great stuff. Anyways, Sunshine, great movie. Another incredible cast. Cillian Murphy's back, but we got like Michelle Yeoh's in there, Hiroyuki Sanada, Benedict Wong, fucking Chris Evans is in there, Rose Byrne, just like a ton of excellent actors in this really, really cool sci-fi movie with a cool premise, cool spaceship design, and going to a weird sci-fi thing and trying to find hope at the edge of the universe, at the end of the world. That's a theme that comes up a lot as well. Yeah, another great one. It's a banger. The only reason I'm not ranking it higher is just like, I don't think every scene and every moment works perfectly, but I think it's still an excellent movie. Next up, Dredd. Yeah, dude also wrote Dredd, an incredible action sci-fi movie with like just a simple, cool premise. Great stuff. It's another fucking banger. I don't know if I have much more else to say with this one. It's just really good. It's just a really good action movie. Simple but effective character arcs. Lena Headey plays the villain, which is always fun. Again, great cast, good story told well with good actors and good performances and good writing. It's a good movie.
I'm gonna tear up the fucking dance floor, dude. Check it out.
Okay, Ex Machina. This one I think might be my first in the absolute cinema category. I love this movie. It's so fucking good. Again, really excellent sci-fi movie with simple premise and compelling characters and good writing and good performances. One of my favorite performances from Oscar Isaac. He's been in a ton of stuff that I've really liked. I don't think I've liked him in anything more than I like him in Ex Machina. He's just so fun, so charismatic, a little bit weird, a little bit crazy, incredible dance sequence. Great stuff all around. And really, really compelling performance, well, from both Domhnall Gleeson and Alicia Vikander, who, this was one of her first movies, and she's been in other things since then, but I've never seen her do anything as interesting as in this one, as in this role. Every time she shows up in a movie, I'm like, oh man, I wish I was watching Ex Machina right now. And this was the first one on the list that Alex Garland wrote and directed. That's important. Because I think when he's writing and directing, he's really got the sauce. Not that any of his other movies are bad. In fact, they're all good. It's about AI, but in the old sci-fi way of what if there was a robot that was indistinguishable from humanity, and what makes a person human in the first place, and delves into a lot of really, really interesting themes and questions. There was this one video I was watching where they talk about her betrayal of Caleb, the main guy, Domhnall Gleeson, at the end, and he was saying that a lot of people misinterpret this as like, oh, she's just an emotionless killer robot that was trying to manipulate him, and it's like, no, that's not it at all. Firstly, Ava actually doesn't owe Caleb anything. He's basically just this kind of weird, nerdy incel who gets a crush on this robot girl because she's been AI generated to look like his porn preferences. So, if you relate to Caleb, you might want to look within yourself a little bit and reflect. However, I will say that his performance is really compelling. And on first watch through, he's the point of view character, so you definitely are inclined to see things from his point of view. But she actually doesn't owe him anything, nor does she, in the same way that she doesn't owe Oscar Isaac anything either. Anyways, this video I was watching, the one thing that I thought was brilliant was that both Oscar Isaac and Domhnall Gleeson miss the point of Ava because they don't see her as human. They see her as a woman, as in they see her as an object, which I'm like, oh fuck, that's such a smart reading of this movie. Anyways, I could talk about Ex Machina forever. I think it's brilliant. I think it's got tons of layers and is really, really compelling. But we got to move on. There's other movies. Man, another fucking gorgeous movie. I think we also got to put that in absolute cinema. Yeah, just another fucking great film. Another cool fucking sci-fi movie. Great, weird, sci-fi thing where there's just this weird alien area that they don't understand and they're trying to explore it. I have the book also, which I really want to read at some point. It's on my list of things to read. I've heard the book is also great. Natalie Portman, Oscar Isaac's back, and also a bunch of other scientist ladies exploring this weird fucking alien thing that is existential and incomprehensible. Weird body horror, weird duplicating cloning device. Oh, the relationship between like mankind and nature is another theme that shows up a bunch in in Alex Garland's work. That's a huge focus of this one, where like humanity sort of needs nature and needs the resources of nature, but nature doesn't really need humanity. In fact, it would actually thrive without us. And there's both something beautiful and kind of terrifying about that idea. That shows up in the 28 Days Later films a little bit. It's like kind of hinted at and discussed a little bit in Ex Machina, because they're talking about like evolution, and the Oscar Isaac character has this like weird home in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nature, but it's also like sci-fi and futuristic. And Annihilation is all about like cancerous cells and growth and humanity and nature becoming connected or bonded in weird, gross ways. Cool, beautiful movie. Great soundtrack as well. Yeah, it's a banger. It's excellent. It's cinema. Men, or hashtag yes all men. This one is very weird and was, for me at least, I may have gone too far in a few places. I still think it's really, really good. Again, great performances from the main cast. We got Jessie Buckley in there. I'm excited for her. She's going to play Bride Frankenstein soon. What's the lead guy in this? I forget his name. Rory Kinnear. Just playing a weird freak. This is the most like A24 of all of Alex Garland's movies, including the ones that are A24 films, where a lot of it is just like weird and symbolic or metaphorical, and then just like a weird fucked up ending that makes you go like, what the fuck was that? Visually incredibly compelling, and there's some great special effects in there, some intentionally strange looking effects that don't look quite right, but that's kind of the point. Visually, we have concept of man and nature again. That concept comes up again. There's definitely stuff there, and you could write a very interesting film studies essay on this film. But for me, I think it just went like a little bit too weird, and that's just my own personal taste. I still liked it. I still enjoyed it. It gave me weird fucking dreams afterwards. Definitely compelling. Definitely interesting. So I'll give it that. These are out of order now, because I think next is Civil War.
Okay. What kind of American are you?
Civil War is another one that I'm like, also very good. I think I'm gonna call it a banger. Another great movie. This one had a lot of interesting discourse around it when it first came out, which I think is usually the sign of at least an interesting movie, if not a great film. There was some criticism that like the movie itself kind of didn't want to commit to like picking a side, or because it's like kind of the world building of like how the Civil War even started is like kind of vague, and they don't go into that much. And in the current day, where it feels like America is on the brink of a civil war again, that feels like a strange choice to not like go into how the Civil War started. But that's really not the point of the movie. It's about the characters and the journey that they're on. They're just in this environment. That environment is now scary and chaotic, and they're just trying to survive and get from point A to point B. A lot of road trip type movies in the Garland verse as well. And yeah, great performances. Kristen Dunst. Is it Kristen or Kirsten? I always get that wrong. But yeah, the main point of the movie is it's just about these characters on their specific journey. It's about war photography and the role that that plays in politics, what it's like to be a war photographer placed in this sci-fi setting of modern war in the American homeland. Part of the concept of the movie is not about like why the war started, but that it could happen. Like not about like why or how the war started, because like I part of the thing is that the like rebellion kind of faction that is at war with the current government is made up of Texas and California, two states that are, you know, famously politically aligned. But it's not really it's not really about that. It's more about like we as, you know, we as America and North America think of ourselves as like too civil to have a conflict like the Middle East or Ukraine and Russia right now happening in our country. But like most of the countries in the rest of the world are just as civilized, if that even means anything, as the US. Some more so because they don't have as many gun deaths. It's about like the arrogance of thinking that it can't happen to you, that the place that you call home can't become a war zone, and that when people with guns show up, it doesn't really matter what you're fighting for, because now you're just in a world of chaos and violence. And this is a thing that comes up multiple times throughout the movie. Like there's a scene with these snipers where they're like, which side are you fighting for? They're trying to interview these snipers and they're like, which side are you fighting for? And they're like, we're trying to not get shot. There's people shooting at us and trying to kill us, and so we're trying to shoot them first so that they don't shoot us. It's like, do you even know whose side you are or the other people are on? And they're like, it doesn't matter right now because we're pinned down by snipers, and so we're trying to not get shot. It's about survival at that point. It's not about whose flag we're fighting for or who you voted for or whatever. And to play devil's advocate for the movie's like world building, the main thing that they seem that the I forget what it's like the Western Union or the Western Allies or something, I don't remember, but whatever the rebellion faction, the main thing that they're like fighting the current government for is that the sitting president Nick Offerman is currently on his third term. So the movie's like almost subtly saying who you voted for doesn't matter when the president decides to take a third term. So if a civil war happens, it's not going to be about like which social issue you think is important or which person that you voted for. It's going to be about oppression and who's currently oppression and power and who has the most guns. Like it's going to be chaotic and scary, and the things that you thought mattered aren't going to anymore. Yeah, fucking it's a good movie. I think I'd have to see it a second time before declaring if I would call it absolute cinema or not, but at very least it's a banger. It's a solid one. Another thing that I forgot to mention earlier, but some of the best female character writing in sci-fi horror action spaces. Almost all of Garland's directed movies have a strong lead female performance. We got Natalie Portman, we got Alicia Vikander, Jessie Buckley. 28 Days Later has Naomi Harris. Dredd has the young psychic trainee cop who's a cool, interesting character, and most of them play into gender politics and sexism in some way as well. Warfare I just watched the other day to catch up on some of the Garland films that I haven't seen yet. This came out just barely a year after Civil War. Instead of being more of a sci-fi speculative thing, this one is based on real testimonies from soldiers in the Iraq War. It was co-written, co-directed by Ray Mendoza, who was a soldier in Iraq, and it's based on his own experience and the experience of like his fellow platoon. And it's basically just like the day in the life of this one squad of soldiers. And yeah, it is intense. It's like it's pretty much all in real time, so it's got this constant this constant ramping of tension. They're pinned down, trapped in this one house, and they're trying to call for aid to get out of there. And it's just constant tension and constant, like, there's certain protocol and certain, calls that they have to make and checks they have to do, and all the characters there have like various levels of PTSD and trauma, and it just becomes extremely chaotic extremely fast. And it's a miracle that they accomplish that any any group of soldiers ever accomplishes anything in any war. Very intense. You definitely have to be in the right kind of headspace for it, and I'm having trouble phrasing my thoughts on this, because I'm trying to think of it, like, I always am like a little bit hesitant to talk about or even watch war movies, because I think there's often even more movies that that are specifically anti-war. I think there's often times that people just are dumb and misinterpret them to be pro-war. Here's my hot take. I think war is bad, and I don't think we should do it. However, I do think there is value in listening and giving voice to the testimonies of the real soldiers who are on the ground, and to like hearing their testimonies and their experiences. So I think there is definitely value in that. What I found interesting was that how the movie, this is at least my interpretation, and please feel free to disagree, the movie almost seems to argue like how fruitless everything is. They take over this random family's house to use as like a temporary base while they're in Iraq somewhere. They get attacked. Several of the soldiers die. A bunch of them get severely injured. And then eventually they blow up a bunch of houses and escape. And the guys they were fighting are still there. So, like, what was even accomplished other than destroying people's homes? I don't know. And maybe that's the point, is that, like, there's just a bunch of chaos and violence, and what are you even trying to accomplish? Unclear. Is that even an achievable goal? Unclear. But I'm not sure how much that's just my own interpretation, or because a lot of this movie is literally just like, here is what it is like to be on the ground in a war situation, in a modern warfare situation, with these characters. And again, great performances all around, great writing, another great ensemble cast. Will Poulter's in there, Jimmy Flamebird's in there, great stuff. 28 years later, this is technically the third one in the 28 days, in the 28 later series. 28 Weeks Later was not done by either Danny Boyle or Garland, and this came out the same year as Warfare. So fucking, we've had a crazy renaissance with we're in the Alex Garland renaissance right now, with Civil War, Warfare, 28 Years Later, and The Bone Temple all coming out within 3 years of each other, and he directed 2 of those. That's crazy. Years Later is great. It's another banger, easily. I think I like it more than the original. Not that I'm really putting these in any particular order. I think the vibe is cool. The world building's really, really interesting. It's in the same world, but it's all new characters, and we're 28 years into the zombie apocalypse. But it's in this weird, interesting world where the apocalypse was contained to the island of Britain, so the rest of the world is just like moving on and just doing their normal lives. The main UK is quarantined, and there's some survivors, but they're like, it's too risky to help them, so we're just gonna make sure they stay over there, and we're not gonna think about it. And that's a cool, interesting world to explore, and we see it through the eyes of this little kid who's exploring, and in this cool new but old island's town, connected by a causeway that is covered by when the tide is high, so they're like mostly protected from the zombies. And basically they've like reverted to medieval times kind of stuff. So they all train on using bow and arrows, and they have like an old style gate. Everything's made of wood. So it's it's like this interesting mix of British culture and history combined with this new sci-fi world. It's cool. It's got very cool world building. I like it a lot. Good stuff. And then apparently they just had a lot more juice in them. So they kept a lot of the actors and sets around and just kept filming and made a whole extra movie, which just came out this year, and that is The Bone Temple. Which fucking rules. I might say this one is absolute cinema. It's great. It's so solid. Years Later was great, and we also got the return of Danny Boyle, so it's got some like weird experimental editing and cinematography choices that I think were cool, but I could see other people being like, what the fuck was that? And it also definitely ends in a way that's like, tune in next week to see what happens. But the Bone Temple was sick. We meet Jack O'Connell. That's his name. We meet Jack O'Connell, who's the leader of this weird Satan-worshipping cult. And he comes across Ray Fiennes' character, who is painted all red and lives in the Bone Temple and is maybe having a weird friendship relationship with one of the zombies who the Satanists interpret as demons, which fair enough. So he's like, Are you Satan? Are you the devil? Fascinating premise. So cool. Getting to see more of Ray Fiennes' character as well was great because he was really interesting and had a cool vibe. Also, we already built this Bone Temple set, so we might as well use it again for another movie. Cool. This one directed by Nia DaCosta, and it's also great. This one's shot a little more normal, which isn't to say that it's shot badly. It's still a beautiful looking movie. But yeah, it's great. Another great one. They're all great. They're all bangers. He doesn't miss. Check out The Bone Temple if you haven't seen it. I don't know. I don't have more to say. I think it was excellent. I watched it with some work friends, and one of the things they said, which I thought was really well put, was just like, it was just cool to see a movie and not really know where the hell it was going. And yeah, I agree. And it has like, and it's not like random or anything. Everything that happens feels like it's was well thought out. It just doesn't go in any of the obvious directions you think it is. The characters are interesting and make compelling choices that aren't always obvious. And it's also a direct continuation of 28 Years Later Part 1, which I guess is now a planned trilogy, which I'm down. I'm down if they do another one, which I know is the goal. So I'm here for it. The world is interesting and cool. Yeah, just cool world building, cool different weird factions in this fucked up universe. Again, the concept of like nature reclaiming society and man's relationship to nature, that concept being here again. Yeah, what else? That's it. It's great. Check it out. I find it so fascinating and so interesting when this kind of thing happens. Like, it doesn't feel planned. It feels like they were just like, this is cool. This is a cool story we're telling. I want to tell more of it. And so they make a whole extra movie. I'm here for it. Great stuff. Check it out. That's all the Garland movies that I've seen. I think Ex Machina is still my top favorite. It's just so compelling, and every time I rewatch it, I find more to think about. But the rest of them are also great. They're all good. He does not miss. So that's all I gotta say. Good movies. Go watch them. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Alex Garland movies are, and if I should watch some of the ones I haven't seen. One of the best writers working in Hollywood today. Good stuff. That's it. Bye bye.